you want to bask in this one, but I got to ask you about what's next. Like Thurman is the guy; it's the obvious one, but Tim Tszyu was saying he's maybe got a year left. Does that change the equation? Maybe you want to go straight to the belt if that's possible.
I think we'll sit down during the week. First thing I ask, any injuries or anything that we need to know, and there's none. So it's an open book. So Thurman has been discussed previously, and so is Fundora. I think those are probably the two names that are resonating at the moment, but I think it'll really be a decision that will come down to Tim, and no limits would go either way, and we'll just look at what's the best outcome, what's the best way to do it in the circumstances, how much time has he got left at 154, and if you were to say to me he's got 1 year left, then we might take Fundora next. But I don't know if that's the case. He still made the weight, as much as sometimes it's hard. He's still got it done, so we'll see. We'll see. It's an interesting couple of days now to see where we go.
Could you bring a two belt holder world champ down to Australia like that?
A Fundora?
Yeah.
Oh look, that would be a PBC and a no limits. That's an expensive exercise. Yeah. I think PBC traditionally like to run their champs in the US on Amazon Prime, and that's their home base. So even though it would still be done here, it's a little different, isn't it? You've got to do a Sunday morning, all of that sort of stuff. So I'm not saying no, but it's probably a question for Georgie Rose more so than me.
Talk about how nerve-wracking you've been around since this kid was a young boy. So much, so much pressure on him this week. You know him better than anyone. Glenn, now that it's all over, how was it really for you and your team this week? This
week has been a real inspirational week for me, because the Tim Tszyu this week has been very much like the Tim Tszyu you're looking at now. He's really been in a safe place. I think in his own mind, he's dealt with the demons, he's dealt with and learnt from the losses, and he's come back to be a much more rounded, more happy dude. And I think tonight just showed. He said it. He nailed the demon of patience tonight.
Yes, big time.
And for me, that Tim Tszyu was the Tim Tszyu we knew up to 24-0. The Fundora thing you can't really quantify, because it was stopped by an awful 1 in a million injury, and Murtalayev, he's covered that. Made an error, paid the price. But if that's Tim Tszyu going forward, if that performance going forward, I'm not sure if there's anyone at 154 that bothers us, to be honest.
Talk about also, we spoke about before, Fundora next. For you as a manager, some people say, picking Murtalayev wasn't the right choice of the idea. Like every boxer, there's a lot in Australia that have had losses and they learn from it. If Tim wanted to go to Fundora next and have a go at the world title, is the world title more to you and your team next, or is it more about doing a bigger fight down here with Thurman and doing such another great event here in Newcastle?
There's a lot of factors come in, isn't there? You've got multiple groups who have their interests. No Limits, of course, PBC, Fundora, Tim Tszyu, all that into the bucket. Where does it land and what does it mean? I mean, for Tim, it would be redemption. It would be going back and fixing a wrong, more so than the belt. The belt is a byproduct of it.
Because he's got two Fundora.
Yeah, I know. But even with that, it would be lovely to walk away as a unified champ with two belts. But for Tim, it would be more, I can tell you, it would be more about, I need to go and fix that. So he's not really driven by that sort of thing. It's really more that desire to make things right.
You got a message for Keith Thurman? I know Tim spoke about signing the contract.
Yeah,
Gold Coast, July the 8th.
July 11th, I think. I don't know what the date is. They come and go, but look, Keith Thurman's a great opponent, and it's another great opportunity for Tim Tszyu to show the world and Australia that he belongs. And there's plenty of people who'll have their say. Keith Thurman, is he over the hill? Is Tim fighting someone else over the hill? You don't lose being elite just because of another year rolling by. These guys are the best in the world for a reason. I think it's a very entertaining fight, and I think Tim Tszyu would love the opportunity to step up once again at that level.